Hi, I'm Belinda with BB's Crafty Haven, and today is that time of month again when we do just our imagination. I love this challenge and I look forward to seeing what everybody can create. Our hosts are Brenda from Rustic and Lace and Kathy Joe from Kathy Joe's DIY. And the winner and our co-host this month is the Singing Crafty Crafter. Hopefully I said that right. Our challenge items this month are foam, paper plates, and an electrical cord or extension cord. Yeah, an extension cord. That was a trip. But I enjoyed this challenge. I love it. It really gets me to think. Hurts my brain a little bit to do that, but I manage it. But I want to thank everybody for stopping by. Please like and subscribe to my channel so I can continue to do this. And I hope you enjoy this challenge, and everybody's who submits a video, they'll be in my description box below, so please stop by and watch their channels and like and subscribe on them. And with that, let's get on with this crafting. DIY number one. This is pretty much everything you're going to need for this DIY. I take one of those pallets that you can get from Dollar Tree, and I cut that little hanger off. Now I know Dollar Tree sells those little ones that look like fences, but I couldn't find one at my Dollar Tree, so I'm going to make my own. So all I'm doing right now is kind of marking the middle of each of those little slats. And then I'm going to take my ruler and put it at an angle so I about know where to cut. And I do this for every slat. After I get all those marked, I will start cutting them into those little, I don't know, points, I guess is the way to put it. I first started using the big clippers that I have, like those, but I need to change my blade out, and I was kind of lazy and in a hurry, so I ended up taking a box cutter and just scoring it, and they just kind of snapped off after that. I got it to use for one, but it was actually kind of hard to get into the middle slats with that big cutter anyways. But once I got all those cut, I did sand it and sand those points so they're not so bad or gonna poke me and hurt me. But I take white by Apple Barrel, and I put 2 coats of that on there, and I cover the whole thing. After I get that covered, I get my little fuzzy bunny. Well, it's not fuzzy, it's a wood bunny. But I take some spackle and I sand it down. And then I take the white by Apple Barrel and I put 2 coats of that on there as well. Alright, next I'm going to take gray granite from Apple Barrel and I'm going to dry brush that all over the fence. Kind of make it look a little rustic. I like doing the gray versus like the brown or something on the fences. I think it looks a lot better. But after I get that on, another thing I like to do is I like to sand it. It kind of softens it a little bit and helps blend it in, but I kind of try to do it when it's still wet too. Or more like tacky. It's not really wet, but you can see. It just helps blend it in a little bit. And then I'm going to rustic up the bunny. And I'm going to take my folk art wax and go all over the bunny rabbit. Even in the middle. Sides, middle. A little bit of everywhere. Until it's covered to the point that I like it. But you don't have to do this if you don't want to. Some people don't like doing this step, and that's okay. That's the whole point of these crafts, is to make them your own. And then I also sand that to help blend it in a little bit. Soften it up. Once I finish that, I take some of this foam, floral foam, which is one of our challenge items, and I will glue that on the back of the fuzzy bunny. Or wooden bunny. I don't know why I keep calling it fuzzy bunny. I like calling them fuzzy bunnies. Bunnies are supposed to be fuzzy anyways. And then I'll take that and I'll glue that to the pallet or our fence. I kind of mark it where I want it so I know where to put the glue. And then I know I do something else because this project's not even done yet. Oh yeah. Okay, I took a Jingle block and I painted it white, and I'm going to put that at the bottom as well. And I did also paint, you can see it kind of in the corner, one of those little square, and I wasn't sure if I was going to put that in or not, but I end up doing it, and you'll see when I add that in. But once I get that in, I take all these flowers I got from Dollar Tree, and I start filling that in that foam behind the bunny. And I take it until I feel like it's full enough, or put as much as you like. And I just kind of alternate the flowers between the white, the pink, and the blue. Or is that purple? That might be purple. Once I get that all filled up, as you can see, it's so pretty. Oh, I took some lavender too that I got from Dollar Tree. I forgot about that. I didn't show that. But my next step is, I'm going to take this fuchsia from Apple Barrel, and I'm going to give our fuzzy bunny a little pink nose, little button nose. Help it look like a little bit more of a bunny. And it's just the tip of the wooden bunny. And not very much, barely anything at all. And then after I do the little pink nose, I take black from Apple Barrel and I give it a little eyeball. And I just used the tip of a paintbrush for that. And then after looking at the bunny, it was still missing something. So I ended up going back to the pink fuchsia and coloring in the middle of the bunny ears. And I did that for both of the ears. Just kind of like a little, I don't know, little pink fill-in like that. Once I get that done, I'm going to take, I believe, oh, I forgot, I took a little pink fuzz ball, poof ball, I don't know what you call those things, and put it on the bunny tail to make our bunny a little fluffy. And then I take my hot glue and I put it on top of that Jingle block that I painted and put on earlier, and I'll take some reindeer moss and I'm going to cover that. And once I get that covered, that's when I decided that the Jingle block didn't go over far enough. And that's when I add that little block that I had earlier in the corner, painted white. It's one of those little blocks you get from Dollar Tree. You're going to see me glue that on here in a minute. Because that's what, see, I'm looking at it and I'm like, this doesn't go over far enough. I need a little bit more. So there's that block. I had it standing by. I had a feeling it wasn't going to do what I wanted it to do. So, and it doesn't matter that it's a little taller than the Jingle block because you're going to cover it. I'm going to put some more reindeer moss on there. And I cover that whole block, the top and the front. And then, of course, I trim it down to make it look better. Okay, the next step is I'm going to take those foam eggs from Dollar Tree, which remember foam is one of the challenge. So I'm actually using two different things of foam in this die. And I'm going to cut, I don't know if you want to cut the bottoms off of it, and we're going to keep the top part. And I know it's hard to see on the camera, but there is like a little line on the carrot, and that's where I cut it, is that first line on the carrot at the top. And that's what makes me decide how much to cut. And I do this for all three, and we just throw away the bottoms. We're only going to keep the top of the carrot. Because we're going to take the carrots and we're going to hot glue them all down along that reindeer moss. He has a little carrot garden. Because why wouldn't a bunny have that? All bunnies should have carrot gardens. And we'll just do that all along that moss. And I'm going to show you. Isn't that adorable? Oh my god, it is so cute. I love it. But we're not done yet because I still thought my bunny was missing a little something something. So I decided to get a bow. And this I got from a big pack from Amazon. It had all kinds of bunch of ribbon in it. And all I do is make a shoestring bow. And at first I wasn't sure where I was going to put it, if I was going to put it around the bunny's neck or if I was going to put it at the top of the ears. And you're going to see me look at both. I do end up putting it at the neck because I think that looks better. And you just adjust the bow to the size that you think is best. See, it's okay there at the top of the ears, but I liked it better there at the bunny neck. I thought it was more fitting. So I'm just gonna hot glue that to the bunny rabbit. And we're gonna cut those extra tails off that ribbon. And that completes DIY number 1. And that is it. Look how cute that is. Oh my god, I love this. This is one of my favorite projects. And that is it for this project. And now we're going to move on to DIY number 2 and challenge 2, which is paper plates. But first we're going to take this canvas that I got from Dollar Tree, and we're going to take like a light blue from Apple Barrel. I can't remember the name of it, and I apologize for that. I usually write this stuff down and I forgot. Some of the times I can remember which paints I use and sometimes I can't, but we're going to paint that entire canvas with that blue. Once that completely covered and it is still wet, you're going to take Apple Barrel white from Apple Barrel, and you're just going to put little spots, a little bit of everywhere. And you're going to use the same brush, and you're going to brush it across while it's still wet. And the more you go up and down, the more it's going to blend in. And you don't want to do it too much because you want some of that white to show. It's going to look like a blue sky with clouds. And I don't take my heat gun to that. I just set it aside to let it dry on its own. And then we're going to take some paper plates. We're going to take 4 of them. And we're going to cut out that inner circle inside that plate. That little round circle right there. Once we get all 4 of those cut, now I made one of these off of camera too, so I'm only showing you one. But you're going to take one of the circles and you're going to fold it in half. And then you're going to fold it in half again. And then you're going to do it one more time. You're going to fold it in half one more time. Kind of looking like a little bit of a cone. And then you're going to take your scissors and kind of round out that cone at the top. I don't know why I went back and trimmed it because I think I made it look worse after I trimmed it, but it's alright. But that's what it's going to look like. And then you're going to open it up. And you're going to cut little slits along those lines. First cut I made a little too big. You don't want to make them that big. You want to make sure they only go down a little bit. Like, I don't even know, maybe a ½ inch? I don't know. I didn't actually measure it. But then you're going to take number 2 paper plate, or a little circle, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to fold in half again, and fold one more time. So 3 times. You're going to fold it in half 3 times. Now here, you're going to take the one that you just cut, the last one you cut, you're going to mark the top of it because you want to make each of those smaller than the last one that you cut. I hope this makes sense. So I just marked the top so I know to cut under that, a little bit under it. It depends on how big you want this to be, and you'll see what we're making. We're making little paper flowers. And you're going to do this 4 times, making it smaller and smaller, and you're going to continue to cut all of those lines on each 4 of those plates, or those little round paper plates that we cut out. And I start to kind of curl it and move it. But once I get those done, okay, let's see if I can explain this. I'm going to take the fuchsia from Apple Barrel, and I'm going to paint the back end. So now you don't have to paint them fully. You only paint the petals, because when the petals curl up, you want them to still show that pink. You're going to kind of brush it along. And you're going to do this for all 4 of them. And you don't have to do complete covering. See, there you go. I didn't cover the middles. I just covered the ends. So then we're going to flip it back over to the front side, or what we're going to call the front side of the flower. And I'm going to take that that pink, and I'm just going to do the tips. I want the tips to be dark. So and I just brush the tips of every flower, as you see me doing right there. And I do that for all the 4 of them. And then you're going to take that fuchsia again, and you're going to just cover the tops of the petals. And you kind of want to cover them kind of fully, but you want to leave the middle untouched for right now. Once you get them covered to the way that you like it, you're going to take water and you're going to water down the fuchsia. And I just took a fan brush because I thought it'd be easier. And I brushed it all over that piece of paper. So it's going to be dark on the ends and light in the middle. And it was still kind of wet too, so it helped blend in the tip of those petals as well. And after you get all 4 done, you're going to take hot glue. And I know they're still wet, and that is okay. And you're going to hot glue them down the middle, or in the middle of each petal, and put them on top of each other, starting with the biggest to the smallest. And you're going to kind of stagger those ends, or the petals of the flower. I hope that makes sense. But once you get that and it's still wet, you're going to take your heat gun and you're going to dry it. And you're going to kind of fluff up the feathers. And as you fluff up the feather and the ends, the heat gun does the work. It will start to curl that flower on its own. It's actually kind of magical. Actually, I thought it was really cool to watch it kind of curl up on its own, do its own thing. But you kind of have to get it started a little bit because the paper's wet, so it's kind of sticking to each other. So you need to pick up each of those petals and then hit the heat gun with it. And then it will start curling on its own. And of course, with the heat, of course, it's like a curling iron. It kind of stays dry. It kind of dries it in the curl. Hope that makes sense. Sometimes I don't think I make much sense. But it is what it is. Hopefully you can understand what I call it blendish, because I kind of have my own language. After we get those petals curled up the way we like it, and here is the second one I did. I did in a purple from Apple Barrel, and I take these buttons. I did not have yellow buttons, so I had to paint those buttons, and I forget what yellow I used. And of course I did that off camera. Once we get those buttons hot glued in, I kind of fluff up my flowers a little bit, kind of finish curling them in. And then we're going to bring back our canvas. And we are going to glue our flowers down. And I kind of staggered them, making one lower than the other. And it doesn't take much, just a little dot. After we get those glued down, I take this jute. It's green jute. I actually got this at Menards and a couple years ago. So I'm not even sure if they still have it. It was in a middle bin in the middle of Menards. So, but you can use any kind of jute you want. And all I do is kind of twist and turn it and just put little dots of hot glue here and there to help hold it down. I of course do this to both of them. I don't know if I show both or just, okay, yeah, I didn't show me doing both, but I did them both the same. And then I'm going to take some of that green jute, and I'm going to make like little petals, and all I did was kind of make a loop and then hot glued that down and then just tack down that little loop. And I make 4 of these, 2 to each flower. And just a little bit of hot glue goes a long way with that. And I stagger those petals as well. And I guess I show you the first flower, but I don't know if I show you the second flower. I probably don't, because I do the same thing. What I do to one flower, I did to the other, so. And like I said, this took a lot of my video up because I was afraid to cut too much out of it because I didn't want you to miss how I was making those flowers. It was easy, but there is kind of a lot of steps to it. Once I get my petals all glued down, I'm going to take hot glue and I'm going to put that all along the bottom of that canvas. And we're going to put some reindeer moss at the bottom of the canvas. And of course, after I get that all on, I do kind of trim up the ends a little bit, which I don't think I show on camera. But once I get that done, this actually completes the project. This is all I did to it. And this is the paper plate challenge. And that is it for DIY number 2. And now we're going to be moving on to DIY number 3. I saved the most difficult challenge to last. And this is the extension cord. And first thing I do is I take a wood round from Dollar Tree. And I taped off the middle. And I'm going to take my Waverly Wax from Folk Art. And as you can see, I'm brushing upward from the tape so I don't get any bleeding. And I cover that up and I wipe it off. And then I take the tape after it's dry and I move it up. And I take purple from Apple Barrel, which I cannot remember the color and I apologize. And we're going to cover that entire bottom half of that wood round. And as you can see, I'm taking my brush and going downward motion from the tape so I don't get any bleeding underneath that tape. And I cover that whole bottom half with that purple. Once the purple is done, I take this ribbon from Dollar Tree and I tack that on in the middle. Now this video is going to go very fast because I was under a time crunch and I used a lot of my time on that last DIY, so I apologize. Hopefully I can explain everything I do into this video. Okay, once I get that tacked down and I cut off all the excess ribbon, I will just set that wood round aside. Now here comes the challenging part, the extension cord. Hopefully I can explain what I did. Like I said, I kind of cut this one a little short on video time. So hopefully I can explain this better. Right now all I'm doing is cutting down the pieces that I would like to use. And I think I only used like maybe, I only cut like it in half and I didn't even use half of that. So right now I'm just trying to manipulate the extension cord to where I want it and trying to decide the size that I like. So once I get the pieces that I like and the size, I start manipulating it together and gluing it together. Now I'm making letters and I'm gluing the letters together. Now I use hot glue in the beginning and I don't know why, but hot glue really doesn't hold all that well to this, and I'm not sure why because it is plasticky. I don't know. I'm not sure. But for the first hold, like you see me doing that H, it will hold long enough for me to stick it to the wood round. And I use a different glue that I got from Dollar Tree, and that's what permanently holds it together. But for right now, just to keep it together for right now, I just use the hot glue. And if you can't tell, I'm making the word hello. The next step is, after I set my letters down, I use that cement that I got from Dollar Tree. And I want to take that H, and yes, it's still holding together with hot glue, but it won't stay. I can easily pull it apart. But I take some of that cement, I don't know if you saw that, but I stuck it right in the middle where I had pieced that H together. And that's what holds it. And this cement holds really well. And then I put the hot glue, which will give that permanent, or that temporary hold long enough for that cement to set. And I do this for each letter. And to keep them held down, I use those big bottles, and I put those bottles on there for a while. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this burlap, and I'm not quite sure where I got this roll at. Um, I think I got that at maybe Walmart, but not 100% sure. I'm just going to show you me making the burlap ribbon. Uh, and all I do is put the ends together. But what I do to this ribbon, I do to that purple ribbon you see off to the side that I got from Dollar Tree. But I just tack the ends together and I scrunch it in the middle. And then I'll take some jute and I'll tie that off. Or tie that to keep it scrunched up in the middle. And I double knot that. And then I'll do that same thing with that purple ribbon. And then I will put the two ribbons together. And I use jute to put them together. Once I get both ribbons together like that, and I actually think that turned out very good. I love that bow. Anyways, moving on, I take these beads and I paint 4 of them purple and 2 of them white with apple barrel. And I can't remember the purple I used, but it's the same purple I used at the bottom half of the wood round. And I'm gonna do like 2 kind of like beaded tassels, I guess is what you would call them. I'm gonna take a purple and then a white and then a purple again. And I'm gonna do this to make 2 of those little beaded tassels. And then all I do is double knot the end. And then I just cut the extra off. And I kind of make it a little longer than what I'm going to need. But once I get that done, I take both of my little tassels and I kind of put a knot there so I know, because I think it will hold better with the hot glue. I forgot to show this. I actually had the camera off on this. Is when I put the 2 greeneries together. I wrap jute around it. I think it sticks better that way instead of just sticking it to the stem. The hot glue is sticking the hot glue to the jute. So I take my tassels and I get them situated to the length that I like, and I hot glue those down. And then I take that greenery and hot glue that down as well. And then I'll take more hot glue and glue that ribbon right on top or in the middle of that greenery. After that, I'm going to take this little purple flower that I took off one of the picks or flower picks from Dollar Tree and stick it right in the middle of my bow. I don't know what it is about that bow, but I really like it. I think it's very pretty. I don't know if it's because of the sheer purple or in the burlap. I don't know. But that is it for this last project. I hope you understood everything I did, and I think it turned out great. And here's our final reveal. That is actually my favorite. I love that bunny rabbit. And there's my hello sign. And there's our paper plate flowers, which is hard to see a little bit. I do move it here in a minute so you can get a better view of it because the light shining on it is a little too bright, but there you go. I hope you liked my hot mess of a video. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.